Hey guys, thank you for joining me on the push-up challenge. Today in this video, I am going to be showing you some common form deviations I see with push-ups done a lot of the time, and I want you to take your time looking through these and seeing which ones you think you need to improve on with your push-up. The first deviation I want to talk about is the placement of the hands and elbows. Many times people place their hands a little too far apart. We really want our hands to be almost directly underneath our shoulders and at about shoulder width, or not shoulder width apart, but at about shoulder height as well. So this should be the placement of your hands when you go into your push-up. Next would be your elbows. Once you get your hand placement down, we want to make sure that our elbows are not going out. We want to make sure they're staying in towards our torso. When our elbows turn out, we're putting a lot of pressure on them, the elbows, and on our shoulders as well, and it could lead to injury immediately or in the future. So we want to make sure that our elbows stay in towards our body. So I'm going to show you what that looks like here. So I place my hands flat on the ground. I make sure that my shoulders are over them, just about directly on top. My hands are about shoulder width apart. I come into a high plank position and I want to think about not moving my body at all, only bending my elbows and keeping them in towards my body as I do the push-up. So I'm going to do 3 reps and I want you to look at my hands and my elbows. And that is the placement of your hands and your elbows. The second deviation that I would like to share with you is that of spinal alignment. I want you to think of a healthy spine. What does it look like? You will probably think there are some natural curves in there. That's a good thing. A lot of the times that doesn't translate into the push-up, but it should. Oftentimes, people experience these deviations within their push-up. Head forward. Head down, head back, upper back arched, shoulders up by the ears, lower back arched in or under. None of these really translate into a functional movement, so we want to make sure that we avoid them throughout the push-up. So that would look like this. I'm going to make sure that my hands and my elbows are in the proper position like I shared with you last time. So here we go. Okay, so my head is in a neutral position. My shoulders are back. My upper back is not arched. My lower back has a slight arch in it, but that's a natural thing. We just don't want it to be hyperextended like this. Okay, so now I want to think of my body as like an iron rod. It doesn't move. There should really only be movement in your wrists and your elbows. So we're going to think about that as I go into my push-up. I'm going to do 3 reps and I want you to see how my body is firm and straight. Okay. Now that was spinal alignment. Take your time looking at your own push-ups and seeing where you can. Now we are going to discuss the third common deviation. This would be that of range of motion. Range of motion at the bottom and at the top. I'm going to show you what that looks like in the push-up position because it's just a little bit easier to explain this one when you can see it. Okay, so I'm going to go into my push-up here, but I'm going to lack some range of motion at the bottom. You see, my chest is not reaching the ground. Now I'm going to go ahead and do 2 more, but I'm going to lack some range of motion at the top. So you could see with these, my elbows were not in full extension. When we go into our push-ups, it's very natural to want to power through them But this can lead to a lot of compensations, one of those being range of motion. As you go into your push-ups, I want you to think about reaching your chest to the ground and your elbows into full extension. Take your time to go through this and really connect with your body as you go through the full range of a push-up. So that would look like this. Chest to the ground, full extension. Chest to the ground, full extension. And there you have it. Take your time going through all of this and don't be hard on yourself. Just take one little bit at a time and I know you will improve.